Where did my journey begin? As far back as I can remember, I've had a love for the paranormal. In grade school, I was that kid who always sought out the dark corner of the library where books about ghosts, cryptids, and UFOs were tucked away. And without fail, I'd leave that library with books by the armload every single time, reading and rereading the same books again and again. I grew up in a house that was built by my grandfather, the same house my mother grew up in. And there I heard and saw things I just could not explain. There were strange noises in the middle of the night, and more than once objects moved or fell right off the shelf. These occurrences couldn't be easily explained away as the pipes or the house settled. Even still, I came to dismiss those things as being nothing other than the ordinary explanations my parents offered up. But looking back, I realized it wasn't so simple. And I think even back then, part of me realized that too. And I wanted to know why these things were happening. I had my first real, impossible to ignore brush with the other, that unexplained force from beyond the veil, in high school when I took a class called Call of the Wild. The class culminated in an overnight camping field trip to the famously haunted Connecticut ghost town, Dudleytown, and it's an experience that I will never forget. So my love of horror, sci-fi, and the weird led me to writing, and writing led me to podcasting in 2005. But it wasn't until more than 15 years later when I came across amazing paranormal podcasts like Strange Familiars and Euphomet that I decided I wanted to do a paranormal podcast of my own. A safe space for people, everyday people like me, to share their experiences, and thus Don't Turn Around was born. The more people I talked to about this stuff, the more I felt the itch to get out there myself. So I took the plunge, and I was hooked on day one after just an hour and a half exploring a local battlefield by myself, armed with a spirit box and a digital recorder. And that's about when I called T. And as it turns out, I'm pretty much the Mulder to his Scully.
I've known Phil Rossi a lot longer than I've been investigating the paranormal. I met him through writing and podcasting. I've been a professional writer for over 2 decades, and I started podcasting in 2005, which makes me a content creator before the term content creator was ever coined. I've always been fascinated with the paranormal, probably stemming from my love of science fiction and fantasy. Just like Phil, I was a diehard fan of the X-Files, but even before then, I remember staying up late to watch Darren McGavin as Kolchak the Night Stalker. And it was science fiction and fantasy that led me to podcasting, and it was podcasting that led me to streaming content on Twitch. I started streaming video games in 2017, and I love it. Especially during the pandemic, streaming was a connection to people. It was a connection to family and friends. And that was when Phil approached me about playing this brand new game in September 2020. It's called Phasmophobia. That first gameplay went as well as you could expect it to.
Right.
Okay.
My light is going out. My light is going out.
Where are you?
I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you.
Okay. Oh!
Ah! Jesus! Oh my God!
I'm out of here. Oh, geez.
I always look forward to Thursday nights with the Phil Rossi Scream Team. It was ridiculous. It was goofy. It was just good fun. And when things started to calm down with the pandemic, that was when Phil Rossi contacted me and said, "Hey, T, how would you like to do this for real?" Now, I knew he was involved with Don't Turn Around, and I was kind of stunned that he wanted me to come along for the ride. And he told me all about the Belgrove Plantation, and of course, the streamer in me was thinking, this would make some really cool content. So we decided we were going to do Phasmo for real. We were actually going to do a paranormal investigation, and we were going to stream it. So on the paranormal spectrum, with Zach Baggins being on this end with Ghost Adventures, and over here being Taps and the original Ghost Hunters, I think I'm more from the school of Grant and Jason. I want to try to figure it out. I told Phil from the beginning, I'm going to ask the hard questions. And I try to debunk it. I try to figure it out before I can say, yes, it's paranormal. And I think that's the way it should be. I think a little science and a little skepticism goes a long way in paranormal investigation.